At my own engagement banquet, I play an explicit video. At first, the guests think I am just showing off, but then they look closer. The woman in the video is none other than today's bride, Liana Liu. And the man is definitely not me. The crowd is still reeling from the shock when someone realizes the bride is not even here. Every guest stares in confusion. I hold the microphone in one hand and dial Liana's number with the other. She does not pick up. I am not discouraged. I call again. This time, after a few rings, she picks up. Through the phone, everyone can clearly hear car horns blaring and the roar of an engine. The guests start whispering. Is she driving away? Is the Liu family's princess actually running from her own wedding? I stay calm. Where are you? I ask. Why did you leave? Liana snaps back. I have something important to handle. We can reschedule the banquet. I push back. What could possibly be more important than our engagement banquet? Her voice comes through the phone, sharp and irritated. I already said we can reschedule. I am driving. I will talk later. I explode. Reschedule? Just like that? What do you think this venue is? What about the guests who traveled here for us? And what does that make the Chen family? I spent 6 months planning this banquet, and you think one word fixes it? Then, even at the cost of my own reputation, I say it. Reschedule with who? Am I even still the groom? Dead silence falls over the room. Liana is stunned. Is this really the same pathetic pushover Ethan she has always known? Ethan, what are you saying? Are you calling off the engagement? I think we both know who is really walking away here. I already told you, I have to get to the hospital. Someone there needs me. I let out a cold laugh. Are you a doctor now? Do you think just showing up actually saves someone? Then tell me, who is lying in that hospital bed? Are they about to die? Can they really not wait even one moment? Did you really have to walk out in the middle of our ceremony? Even the Liu family members in the crowd are puzzled. At a moment this critical, who could possibly have enough pull to make the notoriously cold and untouchable Liana Liu walk out and drive herself to the hospital? Then, Liana's voice comes through. Ice cold. My assistant, Felix. The moment those words land, the entire room erupts. Is not Felix her assistant? She personally hired him right after graduation. I heard he is incredibly good looking. They are always together, practically inseparable. Since when do elite families have male best friends? The whispers spread fast. Eleanor Liu, the Liu family matriarch, can no longer sit still. She immediately sends someone to grab my microphone. But I have already planned for this. I hired 200 people for barely $1 each to form a wall around me. I press on. So what happened to him this time? A cold? Or did he get hit by a bicycle? I have always had my doubts about you two. Tell me, who exactly runs the Liu group? If he is just an assistant, how does he have enough power to make the Liu family's princess abandon her fiancé and rush to take care of him? Ethan, stop it. He is my assistant, yes, but he is also my friend. If you cannot respect him, then you do not respect me. Something shifts inside me when I hear those words. Right. I know exactly what happens when this assistant is not respected. Everything falls apart. People end up dead. In my past life, Felix is the reason I died young. But now I am reborn, and I am going to make sure these two are destroyed. Their names dragged through the mud forever. Making them famous is just step one. I continue. It sounds like this friend of yours matters more than your own fiancé. Fine then, make a choice. Me or Felix. Who do you choose? Liana never expected me to push her this far. In her mind, she and Felix share a bond as close as family. How dare I twist something that pure into something dirty? Answer me, who do you choose? I do not let up. Liana weighs the two of us and she realizes Felix always seems to understand her better. He always makes things go her way. The answer slips out before she can think. Felix. She hangs up immediately and floors the accelerator toward the hospital. But the moment the word leaves her mouth, her chest tightens with a strange, hollow ache, as if someone who truly mattered has just walked out of her life for good. Meanwhile, back at the banquet, every single guest, every relative, every friend has heard her answer. Not one person speaks up for her now. The image of the cold, untouchable goddess shatters completely. Eleanor Liu feels a shame she has never known before. She is furious at Liana for being so reckless and furious at me for showing no mercy, for blowing everything up in front of this many people. She turns to a nearby servant. Go bring that disgraceful girl back to me. Now. Immediately. As for Felix, if he is already dead, so be it. But if he is not, make sure the job gets finished. At the same time, Liana arrives at the hospital. She sprints through the hallway in her white wedding gown. No one has ever seen a bride running through a hospital before. Everyone stops and stares. Some of the more romantic girls start filling in the story themselves. Her boyfriend must be seriously ill, terminally ill probably. He might not survive the night. So she came in her wedding dress to say goodbye. Inspired by this thought, some girls immediately pull out their phones and post the photos online. In my past life, it was exactly this kind of viral moment that set everything in motion. Once people found out who everyone was, I spent the rest of my life branded as a cuckold. In my past life, after Liana ran, the Liu family punished her harshly and moved to deal with Felix. But Liana shielded him with her life. She kept him safe. And I, the pathetic pushover I was, naturally chose to forgive her. My love for her was then twisted by netizens online into the story of a spoiled rich boy who stole a woman away from her true love, who used his family's power to bully the Liu family who forced them to hand over their daughter. I was cast as the villain who tore Liana and Felix apart. And Felix? He survived like the hero of his own story. Bitter, yes, but still devoted to Liana. always by her side. In the eyes of the world, I was the monster. Liana knew all of it, and she never said a word in my defense. She only ever protected Felix's reputation. I never even existed in her eyes. But that is then. Right now, at the banquet, I raised the microphone and addressed the crowd with quiet sincerity. Since the Liu family's young lady has made her choice, the least I can do is step aside gracefully. Eleanor Liu does not know what I am about to say, but something tells her it will be bad. She pushes her aging body out of her seat and walks to the edge of the stage. Ethan, whatever this is, we can settle it behind closed doors. Liana is young. She is impulsive. She lost her head for a moment. We will handle it. Come down. Give me the microphone. I look at Eleanor Liu, this woman I called grandma for so many years. For a moment, something flickers in my eyes. The Chen family has always been small. My grandparents on both sides passed away before I was even born. In high school, my parents died in an accident. The entire Chen family came to rest on my shoulders alone. Back then, the Liu family gave me warmth and care, but that kindness was never free. Behind every gesture was a plan to absorb everything the Chen family owned. I have been given a second chance at life. I will not let history repeat itself. Madame Liu, your family name is Liu. Mine is Chen. We are not family. The moment your granddaughter made her choice, her future husband became Felix, not me. I am speaking to you now as the head of the Chen family. Eleanor Liu realizes the emotional appeal has failed. She stares up at me with despair. I turn back to the crowd. I owe everyone here an apology. You took time out of your busy lives to be here today, and instead you got a circus. But I meant what I said. I wish them well. Liana's heart belongs to someone else, and I refuse to stand in the way of that. Effective today, the engagement between myself and Liana Liu is officially dissolved. Before the echo of my words fades, my former father-in-law Victor Chin finds courage from somewhere and charges onto the stage. No, absolutely not. Ethan, you have no right to make this decision. Mr. Chin, on what grounds do you object? Your daughter has already made her choice. She has gone after the person she loves. What exactly do you want me to do? Send people to drag her back and lock her up? That would be immoral, illegal. The Chen family does not operate that way, and frankly, neither does my upbringing. Every word is a slap across the Liu family's face, a clear implication that the Liu family raised a shameless daughter. Victor's face turns red. He pushes on. Ethan, Liana does not realize that making that choice means the engagement is off. If she knew, she would come back. Please, just give her one more chance. I face Victor's pleading with cold detachment, a slow, scornful smile, a calm shake of my head. Mr. Chin, how do you know I did not already give her chances? She is the one who closed every door herself. Did you already forget the video that played before the ceremony? It is clear your daughter and Felix have already crossed a line. What good does your objection do now? Your new son-in-law is still lying in a hospital bed as we speak. I suggest you go show some concern. Oh, and Madame Liu, is the Liu family still looking for a live-in son-in-law for the next generation? If so, you should have said so from the start. I would have stepped aside much sooner and spared everyone this mess. No one in the room expected this. I am completely composed. Pure class. Victor cannot afford to let a catch like me walk away. He keeps trying. He steps close and lowers his voice. Ethan, this is just how marriages work in families like ours. You do your thing, she does hers. Liana has been with you for years. You cannot just walk away now. She made one mistake, let it go, marry her, and you practically gain half the Liu group. For the sake of everything you two have shared and everything that comes with it. Just forget this whole thing. I think to myself, has this man lost his mind completely? Things have already gone this far, and he still wants me to swallow it. On top of that, Liana and I have never even gone that far. A few embraces, a few kisses, nothing more. I have already been made a cuckold once. That will never happen again. The Chen family has more than enough money. We do not need anything from the Liu family. In fact, I have a second announcement. Effective today, the Chen family will no longer serve as a strategic partner to the Liu group. That partnership is over. Once current projects are wrapped up, there will be no new agreements. Now it is not just Victor who is stunned. Eleanor Liu goes pale. Her legs give out beneath her. The shock is too much, and Eleanor collapses to the floor. Get her to the hospital now! The Liu family scrambles to catch her. They rush her out of the venue. Victor watches, shakes his head in anguish, and follows them out. I stay behind to thank my guests and see them off. Late that night, after everyone has gone, the noise fades. The Chen family estate falls silent again. But beneath that silence, something fierce is churning. Sophie Shen and I settle into the living room. We both sit with cups of sobering tea, saying nothing. Sophie has the quiet presence of a late autumn flower, understated yet radiating an irresistible pull. If Liana is an ice-cold snow lotus, then Sophie is a black rose. Sophie is 3 or 4 years older than me. Shortly after the Chen family adopted her, my mother became pregnant. Even after I was born, the Chen family never pushed Sophie aside. They raised her as their own. It is Sophie who finally breaks the silence. Ethan, are you really going to let this go? I cannot stand what Liana did to you. How could she betray everything you gave her? Sophie's voice breaks as she speaks. I stop pretending I am fine. I sink into my chair like everything holding me up has finally given way. My eyes go empty. Grief, despair, helplessness, and disbelief. Even now, even reborn, some part of me still cannot accept that Liana would do this. The humiliation of being abandoned at the altar is just the surface. What I endured went so much deeper. 10 years ago, to avenge Felix, Liana put me in a vegetative state with her own hands. I force myself to steady my voice. Sister, this is far from over. Liana is not even the main target. I am going to make the Liu family pay for what she chose. Tell me, for a woman like her, what matters most? Before Sophie can answer, I continue. Today I put those photos out for the whole world to see. Yes, it cost me too, I know that. But Liana will never marry into wealth again. Not in this lifetime. The Liu family will never allow her to be with Felix either. They will deal with those two themselves. All we have to do is take down the Liu family. I am going to leave them with nothing to come back from. I grip my teacup, my voice low and lethal. Something savage burns in my eyes, cold and absolute. Sophie has never seen me like this before. She thinks, this is a completely different person. All right, Ethan, I am with you. Always. The Chen family has your back. We make them pay back 10 times over. Sophie moves to my side. She reaches out and rests her hand gently on my forehead, just like she used to when I was small. I look at her face, this face I have missed so deeply. In my past life, when I was left in a vegetative state, Sophie came every single day. She turned me, massaged my limbs, did everything herself. She would lean close and tell me what was happening in the world outside, and at the end of every visit, she would pat my head. I cannot hold back anymore. I stand and pull Sophie into my arms. I never found out what Liana did with Sophie in that past life, what happened to her in the end. I died full of regret for ever loving Liana, for letting her destroy the people closest to me. I make myself a promise the one person I must never fail in this life is Sophie. I press my face into her shoulder and breathe in that familiar scent. The feeling of having her back, of not having lost her, it breaks through every wall I built. I cry out loud. Sophie, caught completely off guard by my embrace, goes still. The two of us have not held each other like this since we were children. Because the truth is, Sophie practically raised me. From the time I was small, I followed her everywhere, until I grew up and met Liana. And because of Liana, I slowly drifted away from Sophie. Hearing me sob, Sophie assumes I am still mourning Liana. Her heart aches for me. She wraps her arms around me, cradling the back of my head, soothing me the way she always did when I was the little boy who cried too easily. I let it all out. Every bit of grief, every bit of weight released. I feel lighter, more alive. Sister, get some rest. We have a lot to deal with at the office tomorrow. I head for the door. Where are you going? It is this late. Are you seriously going out now? Sophie asks. I need to stop by the wedding house. There are some things I need to bring back. They belong to our parents. I will not leave them there for Liana. Sophie understands. I am not going back to her. She says nothing more and arranges for someone to drive me. The moment I am gone, Sophie lets out a cold, quiet laugh. Liu family. It is time we settled our debts. Sophie is no pushover. She held the Chen family together at 22 and kept it standing. That alone speaks for itself. In my past life, if I had not let it happen, if I had not handed over Sophie's authority, the Liu family could never have seized the Chen Empire, and Sophie would never have been taken by Liana. Sky Harbor Villa is a luxury development built by the Liu family. It is where my wedding house with Liana was supposed to be. I push open the door and walk straight inside. I look around at a space that feels both familiar and foreign at the same time. Something heavy moves through my chest, grief rising without warning. I had actually planned to move into the Chen family estate after the wedding, but Liana refused. She did not like the old style of the estate. Right around that time, this development finished construction. Liana insisted I make this my home. Unit 1, the Crown of Sky Harbor Villa. 150 million. And because I moved in first, a failing development was brought back to life. My wealthy friends followed, one by one buying into the same complex. After all, who would not want to live close to the Chen family? I then spent another 50 million on renovations, every detail designed around Liana's taste. 6 months of construction and I supervised every single day, because this was supposed to be the home the two of us would share for the rest of our lives. Not one flaw was acceptable, and in the end, Felix got to enjoy it. After I was left in a vegetative state, Liana sent me back to the Chen family estate and gave this place to Felix. Maybe that was her plan all along, getting me out of the way so she could hand over my home. I never found out whether the house I built brick by brick became their private hideaway, whether the two of them ever crossed every line on the bed I picked out myself. That question is part of what finally broke Sophie. She led people to Felix's door and left him paralyzed from head to toe. And that act cost Sophie her life. The moment these thoughts hit me, my chest splits open with pain. A rush of blood surges up my throat and spills across the white living room carpet in a vivid streak of red. The color is brutal against the white. The grief is too much. I lose consciousness and fall. City Hang Central Hospital. Liana has no idea she is about to become the most talked about person in all of City Hang. She sits at Felix's bedside, both hands wrapped around his, staring at his pale face with an ache in her chest. Thankfully, he is not seriously hurt, just some surface scrapes. No internal injuries. But the impact knocked him out, and he has not woken up. Liana has been sitting here for over 2 hours, not once looking away. She has no idea what happened at the Chen family estate. She does not know that Ethan is already the talk of all of City Hang, though not for reasons anyone would envy. When she first arrived and ran through the hospital to find Felix, someone posted it online. At first, public opinion romanticized the whole thing, a love story so moving it broke hearts. Netizens praised Liana's looks and celebrated what they called an undying love. It spread fast. The comments were flooded with well wishes, but the story flipped quickly. Guests from my engagement banquet knew the real version, and they went online with it. Disgusting. What a load of garbage. That is not even close to what happened. That woman is Liana Liu, the Liu family's princess from City Hang, and the man in the hospital, her assistant, Felix. Tonight was supposed to be her engagement banquet to Ethan Chen, and she walked out on him at the ceremony itself. She showed up in her wedding dress to visit the man she has been hiding, and people are calling that a love story? Let me be very clear. These two deserve nothing but shame. I cannot believe people were actually blessing them. I must have been out of my mind. Reading those comments made me sick. That post laid everything out. Ethan, Liana, Felix, every detail exposed. Photos from the banquet were included. One shot showed me standing alone on the stage, my face hollow with loss and disbelief, while the screen behind me displayed the photo, Liana, in sleepwear, alone with Felix in a hotel room. The logic was clear. The evidence was undeniable. Liana had betrayed Ethan with Felix, and the internet exploded. Liana does not know any of this. She turned her phone off the moment she walked into the hospital. Too many calls coming in, and she did not want the noise to disturb Felix while he rested. There was another reason too. She had no idea how to explain any of this to her family, or to the Chens, so silence felt easier. In her mind, Ethan just needed time to cool down. Once she went back and talked it through in person, she could smooth things over. As long as Ethan forgave her, the Liu family would not be too hard on her either. She would find the right moment, make him apologize properly, have him propose again, and once he was happy again, all of today's drama would be forgiven. Then she would just marry him. The nerve of him making her choose. She decides 1 week of silence. He needs to learn his lesson. Nobody defies her. But fine, she will still marry him. She will even let Felix be the best man. After the wedding, she wants 2 children. One of them, a boy, will carry the Liu name. Decided. That is just how she has always been with me, no matter how far I pushed back. The moment I stood in front of her, she always forgave me. She is the princess. I was her knight. But this time, she has badly misjudged the situation. That knight is gone. She killed him herself. Liana is still lost in her daydream when the door crashes open. She flinches. Felix, still in bed, jolts at the noise but does not wake. Liana's first thought, Ethan found her. Her heart jumps. She does not notice Felix's reaction. The man in the doorway is Victor Chin, flanked by bodyguards, his expression stone cold. The moment Liana sees it is him, she relaxes. What are you doing here? Her tone is flat, not a trace of warmth for her own father. Victor seems used to it. He does not react. Liana, he says quietly, your grandmother collapsed. She was overwhelmed. And she is in the room right next door. Go see her. Liana immediately lets go of Felix's hand and stands. Grandma collapsed? Why did you not say something sooner? How did this even happen? What was Ethan thinking? He cannot handle a simple situation without letting it spiral. He sent Grandma to the hospital? Did he not think to calm her down first? Where is he? Did he come too? I need to have a serious talk with him about how he handles things. Liana's face is ice. Every word drips with blame. She does not even glance at Victor as she walks out. She puts every ounce of this onto me, without a single thought that her own last-minute walkout started all of this. She also does not know yet that the moment she chose Felix, I had already called off the engagement. Victor does not tell her. He simply turns and looks at Felix lying in the bed, a contemptuous smile crossing his face. Drop the act. Every trick you are pulling, I invented them. Felix stays perfectly still, the picture of unconsciousness. Fine, keep performing. Victor seems to have figured something out, but he lets it go. He turns to the bodyguards. You two, stay here. He does not leave this room. Victor walks out. The moment he is gone, Felix's eyelids twitch. He seems to want to check what is happening. He opens them just a sliver and is met with 2 massive silhouettes looming over him. He snaps them shut and keeps playing dead. Liana steps out into the hallway. Sure enough, Liu family bodyguards stand guard outside the very important person room next door. Rigid, watchful, she pushes the door open and finds her grandmother lying unconscious on the hospital bed. The sight of it pulls a cry out of her. She turns to Nanny Wang, who stands close by. What happened to her? How did it get this bad? Nanny Wang hesitates. She has served the Liu family for over 50 years, raised alongside Eleanor from childhood. She watched Liana grow up. She cannot bring herself to believe Liana would do something this reckless. But the facts are right in front of her. Her young lady abandoned her fiancé to rush to her assistant's bedside on the night of her own engagement banquet. Nanny Wang lets out a long sigh. Miss, she says softly. The matriarch was overwhelmed by everything that happened. She will be all right. Give her a little time. Before Liana can ask anything more, Eleanor stirs at the sound of voices. Nanny Wang rushes to help her sit up. Liana moves to help as well. Grandma, are you all right? How do you feel? Where is Ethan? You collapsed and he did not even come with you. Liana says nothing about walking out. She still does not know that she is the reason her grandmother is lying here. Instead, she acts as though Ethan failed to look after Eleanor, as though it is his fault she ended up in the hospital. But Eleanor shoves her away. Get away from me. I have no granddaughter like you. Liana realizes she has been caught, but her expression barely changes. Grandma, what are you talking about? It is just the engagement banquet. We can hold another one. As for Ethan, I will sort it out with him. I am calling him right now to come here and apologize to you. Liana pulls out her phone and powers it on, but Eleanor stops her immediately. Eleanor knows Liana has no idea what has happened outside these walls, that Ethan has already called off the engagement. If Liana calls him in this tone, this careless, entitled tone, it will only make things worse. It will push Ethan further away and leave no room to fix anything. Do not call anyone yet. Sit down and listen to me first. Liana would not dare push back right now. She puts the phone away. Go ahead, Grandma. Eleanor leans back against the bed and sends Nanny Wang out of the room. Once the door closes, it is just the two of them. Eleanor's expression shifts. cold fury. "Do you even know what you have done?" she demands. "Do you think that just because I am old, because I have slowed down, you can do whatever you want? You have disgraced this family. You have shamed the Liu name." Liana visibly flinches. The tears come fast, flooding out like a dam giving way. "I do not even understand what is happening. Why are you this angry? What exactly did I do? How have I shamed anyone? How dare you ask me that? Tell me, who is lying in that room next door? Who is he? What gives him the right to occupy a top-floor very important person room?" Eleanor grows more furious with every word. She is already holding back for Liana's sake. Anyone else she would have torn apart by now. Yes, Liana and Ethan were not yet married, but the betrothal had long been set. What Liana has done is a complete betrayal of that bond. In Eleanor's time, a woman like this would have been thrown in a pig cage. Liana is stunned into silence. Felix, his existence, she has never once mentioned him at home. Aside from me, everyone only knows Felix as her assistant. Liana suddenly feels exposed, betrayed. She blurts out, "Grandma, how do you know Felix is here? Did Ethan tell you? How could he do this? I already told him. Felix and I have nothing going on. He is just my assistant. Ethan is being completely unreasonable." Eleanor lets out a bitter laugh. "An assistant? What kind of assistant makes you walk out of your own engagement banquet? What kind of assistant gets a hospital bedside visit from the CEO herself? Is that what a boss and assistant look like? Who in the world would believe that?" Faced with Eleanor's relentless questions, Liana has no answer. She does not know how to explain what Felix is to her, but she knows for certain it is not romantic. What she feels for Felix is closer to family without the blood tie. But even if she says that out loud, will her grandmother believe her? Right now, the only person who can fix this is Ethan. If he just comes and backs her up, her grandmother will believe her. She reaches for her phone again to call him. This time, Eleanor does not stop her. She simply says with quiet certainty, "Save yourself the effort. I doubt Ethan is picking up your calls right now." Liana does not believe it. She calls anyway. He does not pick up. In the past, this would have been unthinkable. He always answered within 3 seconds. But today she calls 3 times in a row and gets nothing. Eleanor sighs deeply. "All right, child, let me tell you what actually happened." She walks Liana through everything, starting from the moment I called Liana on that stage, then forcing her to choose, and finally my announcement ending the engagement, all of it, except for one thing, the hotel room photos of Liana and Felix. That part she leaves out, and even without it, Liana is already falling apart. The moment she hears that I called off the engagement in front of everyone, she goes blank. That cannot be right. He loves me. He would never do that. No, I need to find him right now. I need to ask him what he thinks he is doing. How dare he? She bolts for the door. "Come back here." What good does running to him do right now? Eleanor watches her granddaughter, a girl who still cannot tell right from wrong, and for the first time, Eleanor truly sees where she failed as a mother figure. Liana is the one who caused all of this. Ethan simply stopped letting it slide. Tell me the truth. What exactly is going on between you and that young man next door? How far has it gone? Liana freezes. Her eyes dart. She pauses. After a moment, she says, "Grandma, what are you even implying? There is nothing between me and Felix. We are colleagues, friends at most." Do not listen to Ethan. When I said Felix on the phone, I only meant I was coming to the hospital. I was not choosing Felix over Ethan. I would never give up Ethan. That is impossible. That last part is actually true. In that moment, she was mostly just furious at being backed into a corner, and the words slipped out before she could think. Looking back now, she can see it clearly. I set the trap. She walked straight into it. But Eleanor is not buying a word of it. She knows Liana is holding back. The disappointment is crushing. Even now, Liana is still making excuses. The anger hits Eleanor right in the chest, a sharp physical pain. "Liana, after everything that has happened, you still will not be honest with me? I do not believe a single word of that explanation, and neither will anyone who was there tonight. Do you understand? Every person at that banquet is someone of standing. Many of them are our business partners. If word gets out that you cheated, do you have any idea how much damage that does to the Liu family?" Liana stares at her, thrown completely off balance. "Cheated? What do you mean cheated? Who told you I cheated on anyone?" Eleanor does not explain. She simply pulls out her phone and sends Liana the photos. Liana opens them. Her eyes go wide with horror. "Where did you get these? Who took these?" "That does not matter. What matters is this. Whatever happened or did not happen between you two, Felix is finished. Even if the Chen family does not act, the Liu family will not let him walk away from this. He is the biggest obstacle in your life." Liana is still piecing together the memory behind those photos when she hears Eleanor say Felix has to die. She cuts her off immediately. "No, you cannot touch him. I will not allow it. If you go after him, you will have to go through me first." Eleanor sinks back against the bed, too furious to speak. Liana does not even notice. She needs to explain those photos. "I remember now. This was from a business trip last week. That night, Felix came to my room for work. We were just going over company matters, and at the end, he spilled coffee on me. That is why I changed. You have to believe me. You raised me. You know I would never do something like that." Hearing this, Eleanor wavers. The photos do not show what happened behind closed doors, but a man and woman alone in a hotel room in the middle of the night, and Liana ending up in a robe while seeing Felix out. No matter how you look at it, it does not look innocent. The explanation simply does not hold up. Liana sees that her grandmother still does not believe her. She goes further. "Grandma, if you still do not believe me, we are in a hospital right now. Call in a gynecologist." Have her examine me right now and see for herself. Hearing her granddaughter say this with such conviction, Eleanor believes her a little more. But now she is even more confused. If there is truly nothing physical between them, then why does Liana guard him so fiercely? Liana realizes she cannot keep this buried any longer. She tells the truth. Felix joined the Lu group a year ago. She thought he showed promise, so she pulled him onto her team as her personal assistant. Over time, she noticed something different about him. Compared to the men who chased her with grand gestures, and even compared to Ethan's devoted, unwavering attention, Felix stood apart in a way she could not quite name. And in the Lu family, 3 generations of women, not a single son, she had always wanted a younger brother. Felix filled that space perfectly. Over the past year, she leaned on him more and more, even giving in to demands that made no sense. When Eleanor hears all of this, she wants to slap her. A brother? What kind of brother is that? No shared blood? This close, this entangled? Who would ever believe that? No one. Except Ethan. That fool who let love blind him completely. But even he has finally woken up. No wonder Ethan handled everything so calmly. He had been swallowing disappointment for so long, until there was nothing left but despair. Every time he chose to trust her, she pushed further. So he finally ended it right there in front of everyone. Eleanor beats her own chest, crying out, "What sin did our ancestors commit? What did we do to deserve this? To be cursed with a granddaughter like you?" The words hit Liana like a blow. Tears flood her eyes. Then a sharp knock at the door. Victor's voice comes from the other side. "Mom, I have something urgent. Come in." Victor walks in fast, tablet in hand, heading straight for Eleanor. "Liana's situation has gone online. The public reaction is turning against us. What do we do?" Eleanor cannot stand seeing him like this, so frantic, so incapable of making a single clear-headed decision, less composed than Ethan, a man 20 years younger. "Pull yourself together. Look at the state of you." Stung by Eleanor's words, Victor shrinks even further. Liana watches with undisguised contempt. She has never respected her father. If the Lu family had produced a male heir, her mother would never have settled for a live-in son-in-law like him. Even in a crisis, the women in this family hold steadier than he ever has. And on top of that, Victor never even managed to give the Lu family a son. After her mother passed, the family's disdain for Victor only grew. Victor has long since accepted this. He does not get angry. "Mom, just take a look first." Liana takes the tablet and reads alongside Eleanor. It does not take long before Liana is shaking with rage. Eleanor collapses again a second time, because the situation online has completely spiraled. Public opinion is splitting, and more people are siding with Ethan. People who knew the story have been posting about everything Ethan did for Liana over the years, and someone even leaked the full list of betrothal gifts the Chen family gave to the Lu family. Netizens see it, and the reaction is immediate. How could she do this to him? Now Liana has no defense left. Even if she admitted that she and Felix were nothing more than siblings, who would believe her now? Everyone is coming after Liana, and by extension, dragging the Lu family down with her. Someone online has already started a campaign, "Never buy Lu Group products again." When the markets open tomorrow, shareholders are threatening to dump their LIU Group stock. Tomorrow is going to be a nightmare. If this is not contained, the Lu family may never recover. Every resource they quietly gained through the Chen family, every point the stock climbed, will come crashing down. "What do we do? Grandma, what do we do?" Liana is finally tasting the harvest of what she planted. Her own reputation is in ruins, and the Lu family is going down with her. Failed to raise you right, and now you ask me what to do? How should I know? When you were making your choices, did you think even once about whether this day might come? The sound of a slap cuts through the room. Eleanor finally snaps and strikes Liana hard across the face. Liana covers her cheek, sobbing uncontrollably. "Grandma, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. But does he really not want me anymore? No, Grandma, I cannot lose this engagement. I love him. I did not betray him. I never cheated. The ice goddess is gone. The untouchable snow lotus gone. In her place is something more like an abandoned animal, small and desperate. Now you realize your mistake? Too late. You chose to play this game, then you cover your tracks. You made it this obvious. Now the whole world thinks you kept a man on the side. You dug your own grave and buried the Lu family with you." Reading through the comments, Eleanor does not believe for one second that Liana and Felix are just siblings. She is in tears now too, already seeing the end of 100 years of Lu family legacy. She is furious at Liana, and even more furious at Ethan for blowing it up this far. Calling off the engagement at the banquet was not enough. He had to go and stir up public outrage online. If Ethan ever found out he was being blamed for all of this, he would probably cough up blood all over again. At this moment, Victor steps forward. He turns to Eleanor. "Mom, how do you think we should handle this?" "Handle it? What is there left to handle?" Victor pauses, then speaks with surprising clarity. "Mom, 2 steps. First, we deal with the online narrative. We move fast, call in our contacts, and bury the story before it spreads further. Second, we go to Ethan now and get him to hold a press conference. He takes the blame." Liana and Eleanor stare at each other. Both steps are enormous problems. Knowing the plan is one thing, actually pulling it off is another. Especially getting Ethan to stand up publicly and take responsibility for something, when Liana herself cannot even figure out what he actually did wrong. Victor lays out the full plan. Eleanor and Liana listen, completely stunned. Neither of them expected this, that a man they dismissed as a worthless son-in-law and a spineless father could come up with something this sharp. Eleanor was just mocking him for panicking. and now she is eating her words. Victor's two-step plan. First, the online narrative, actually manageable. The Liu family owns an entertainment company. They can get a few top celebrities to drop some attention-grabbing headline stories juicy enough to eclipse the Liana drama entirely, and the public's attention will shift. Second, the question of Felix's identity. The Liu family simply makes it official. Eleanor publicly adopts him as an honorary grandson, and suddenly their closeness has a legitimate explanation. Then the final step, and the most critical one, get Ethan to appear publicly, have him tell everyone he got jealous, let it go to his head, misread the relationship between Liana and Felix, and blew the whole thing out of proportion, and that the fault was entirely his. He has always trusted Liana completely, and loves her deeply. Victor finishes laying it out. The first two parts are doable. The problem is Ethan. He may not go along with it. Eleanor thinks for a moment, then gives her orders. Victor, effective immediately, I am appointing you as vice president of the Liu Group. You have full authority to handle this situation. As for Ethan, Liana and I will figure that out. Get started on the public narrative tonight. This is exactly what Victor has been waiting for. He agrees without hesitation and heads out with the tablet. The moment he is gone, Eleanor's face turns serious. Liana, I need the truth. Did you sleep with Felix or not? Even now, even after everything Liana said, Eleanor still does not believe their bond is purely that of siblings. This so-called brother feels far more like a lover. Liana never expected that the one person who loved her most in the world would also not believe her. Grandma, please, I really did not. I never crossed that line with Felix. I only ever saw him as a brother. If you do not believe me, I will swear it on my mother's grave. The mention of Liana's mother lands differently on Eleanor. Her expression shifts, something uneasy flashing in her eyes. All right then, but to be safe, just to be sure, go get examined. Take the results and use them to explain yourself to Ethan. Examined? What proof are you talking about? Liana genuinely does not understand until Eleanor's gaze drops to her waist. Then it clicks. A virginity examination. An hour later, Liana leaves the hospital, her face flushed with shame, report in hand. She calls me over and over on the way to the Chen family estate, and I do not pick up once. She cannot tell if I am furious or asleep. While Liana is on her way, I finally come to. The grief had been so overwhelming it made me cough up blood and sent me crashing to the floor. That blood, let it be the last goodbye. Liana, I have torn you out of my chest. When I come back to myself, I feel lighter. The love I had for Liana, it came out with the blood. The shadow of her that lived in my chest, gone. I look around at the house I built for her and say quietly, time to say goodbye. I grab a bottle of red wine from the cabinet and drink straight from it. Then I hurl it at the wedding portrait. The bottle shatters, the portrait destroyed. I crack open another bottle, drink a few swallows, and walk to the bedroom. I take down the wedding dress, pour wine over it, and flick my lighter. The gown, masterfully crafted 6 months in the making, encrusted with rare jewels, catches instantly. I had flown to Europe myself to commission it from a master couturier, all to give her the wedding she deserved. Now it means nothing. I grab every framed photo of the two of us and throw them into the flames. The blaze is bright enough to draw the bodyguards posted outside. One of them stops at the doorway, not daring to enter. Sir, are you all right? Should we come in? Get my belongings out, then tear this place apart. I hate this house. In my past life, this is where Liana put me in a vegetative state, and then it became the place where she and Felix hid what they had. I do not look back. Bottle in hand, drinking as I go, I walk out. I have no idea where I am going. I own property all over City Hang, but none of it feels like home. The wedding house holds betrayal. The Chen family estate holds the memory of Sophie being taken. Every place pulls me back into the same pain, making it unbearable to exist. I walk the streets alone, like a ghost adrift, hollow, untethered, like a stray with nowhere to go wandering the empty roads. By the time midnight passes, my legs have finally had enough. A 5-star hotel sits right there on the street. I push through the entrance, swaying slightly, and book myself into the presidential suite. Key card in hand, I step into the elevator alone. The presidential suite is on the 66th floor, but the elevator stops somewhere in the 50s. The doors open. A woman stumbles in, clothes disheveled, barely keeping her balance, and immediately jabs the button to close the doors, as if something terrifying is right behind her. I squint and take her in. Young, looks like a recent graduate, tall, wearing a cream white fitted dress, every curve on display. She is the kind of beautiful you rarely encounter, a match for Liana, if not beyond. I take one look and look away. I am too drunk, too wrecked, all I need is to fall into bed. But the woman who just stepped in seems even further gone than me. She sways dangerously, her pale arms unable to grip the rail, and she tips toward me. I catch her on instinct. The moment my arms close around her, it feels like holding the finest jade, her skin impossibly smooth, soft, luminous, and something stirs in my chest. She leans into me, murmuring, "Help me, please, help me." I notice something is wrong almost immediately. Her body temperature is far too high. Patches of red are spreading across her pale skin. Before I can process what is happening, she tilts her head up and kisses me. Her arms lock around my neck and pull hard. I fight to keep control. The elevator doors open, I step out fast and carry her toward my room. Inside, she becomes even more desperate. She tears at both our clothes. Hey, stop! My words are cut off. I look at the breathtaking woman right in front of me, already drunk beyond reason. There is only so much a man can take. I close my eyes and give in. The two of us fall into the heat of the moment, while across the city, Liana arrives at the Chen family estate and is turned away at the door. After pleading, Butler Lee finally tells her I went to the wedding house. Liana races back to the wedding house. He still has feelings for me. He is waiting for me there. Her heart lifts. When she arrives, I am long gone. The house holds only a few bodyguards swinging baseball bats, smashing every decoration in sight. Liana nearly chokes on her own fury. Stop it! What are you doing? Who ordered this? Get out, now! The bodyguards recognize her. She almost became the lady of this house. Sir's orders, one of them says. They're not sure who to listen to now. What if I end up back with Liana, and they get punished for this? Too complicated. I will not say it again. Out. The bodyguards take one look at her face, drop their bats, and file out. Once they are gone, Liana sinks to the floor. This time she truly understands. I am not bluffing. I am not throwing a tantrum. I am done. Ethan, why? Why won't you even let me explain? She sits on the carpet, falling apart, and then she sees it. A deep red stain spread across the white carpet, soaked into the soft fibers, brutal against the white. He coughed up blood. Ethan coughed up blood. What did I do to him? How could I make him bleed like that? She sits there, shaking, crying, completely lost. In this moment, she looks like a leaf ripped from its branch by an autumn wind, broken and weightless. Somehow more beautiful for it, as if this is the moment she truly stopped being a girl. Meanwhile, Maya Lu stares at the room around her and goes still. She is lying in a stranger's bed, and that stranger is right next to her. Her first instinct is to scream, but she catches herself pressing both hands over her mouth. She cannot wake him up. She cannot let it happen again. Maya is a final-year student at the Capital Arts Academy, already signed to Red Star Entertainment before she even graduated. Yesterday, she accepted an invitation from her senior, Jason Zhang, to come to City Hang for a performance. After it ended, Jason brought her along to meet some investors. Before they even arrived, Jason had hinted, "Loosen up tonight, make some sacrifices." She had no idea that meant selling herself to please a wealthy client. She refused immediately and tried to leave, but Jason blocked her. He eventually backed down. Just one drink, then she could go. She thought that would be the end of it. It was just the beginning. The drink was spiked. She lost her grip on reality fast and was sent up to a suite to wait. But Maya held on. The moment the client walked in, she vomited on him deliberately. While he went to clean up, she bolted. She never expected to end up here instead. Maya looks at the man sleeping soundly in the bed, and the memories of the night slowly return. It comes back to her. She was the one who made the first move. Thinking back on how completely unhinged last night was, Maya's face burns red. What do I do now? Still trying to figure that out. She glances at me again. The man who ended up with her, he is genuinely good looking. She studies my face. Then quietly, almost to herself, "At least it was you." "Fine. You got lucky. If it had been that old man, I would have rather died." Maya slips out of bed barefoot. Her pale, smooth skin looks like it belongs on a figure from Greek mythology, all grace and quiet beauty. She moves lightly, carefully picking up the shredded pieces of her dress from the floor, pulling them on. But there is no hiding what is underneath. With no other option, she pulls on my jacket. She mutters to herself, "I slept with him and now I am stealing his jacket. Is that really the moral thing to do?" Maya hesitates, then unclasps the necklace from around her neck and leaves it on the bedside table along with a short note. Then she laughs softly to herself. Does this count as soliciting? She hides her face in her hands, half laughing, half crying. She wraps my jacket tight around herself and walks toward the door, but just before she reaches it, she stops. She turns back, graceful even now, and gives me one long, resentful look as I sleep like I have not a care in the world, as if she is burning my face into her memory. Then, after a moment, she opens the door and walks out without looking back. I sleep well into the late morning. When I finally wake, Maya is nowhere to be seen. She left first. I look over at the bedside table. The necklace is there and a note. It reads, "One night, nothing more. Do not look for me. Do not think about me. I took your jacket. The necklace is payment." I close my fingers around the necklace, bring it to my nose, and breathe in the faint scent that is entirely hers. Then I notice the red stain on last night's sheets. A slow, knowing look crosses my face. Sleep with me and disappear? Not a chance. I pick up my phone and call Leo. "The woman who came into my room last night. I want everything on her. 1 hour. And bring me a change of clothes." I hang up before Leo can respond and head straight for the shower. On the other end of the line, Leo nearly has a heart attack. "What? Someone got into Sir's room last night? Pull the security footage now, find out who it was." By the time I finish getting cleaned up, Leo is already at the door with fresh clothes and a file. I do not look at the file. "What did you find?" I ask, pulling on my shirt. "Sir, we have her. The woman who came back with you last night. Her name is Maya Lu, still a student. Enrolled at the Capital Arts Academy. She was brought to City Hang yesterday for a performance, and afterwards she was taken to a private event, where someone drugged her. Where is she now? She took the high-speed rail back this morning. She is already back in the capital." "Who sent the invitation?" "We found him. His name is Jason Zhang, also a graduate of the Arts Academy, Maya's senior." "So he is the one who drugged her?" Leo nods. "Almost certainly, and even if not directly, he was involved. He was the one making the arrangements." I let out a cold scoff. Something sharp and dangerous crosses my face. Making arrangements. Let us call it what it is. He was running a supply chain. Whose bed was Maya being delivered to? Leo shifts uncomfortably. "You know him, sir. Quite well, actually." I have just shrugged on my jacket. This stops me cold. "I know him? Who is it? I cannot believe I actually know someone like that." Discomfort enforces the words out. It is Mr. Bruno Chin. The name does not register at first. Then it clicks. You mean Bruno, Victor's brother? Leo confirms. Yes, that is him. Just hearing his name makes my jaw tighten. Bruno Chin, greedy, shameless, always chasing money and women and constantly throwing the Chen family name around to get what he wants. He used to be a security guard at one of the Liu family's subsidiaries. Then Victor came to me asking for a favor to find Bruno a better position. I agreed, wanting to keep my future father-in-law happy, and placed Bruno at the Chen Group's main headquarters, giving him a comfortable role as head of the logistics department, a position with real perks. And the moment Bruno had power, he packed the entire Chin family into the company headquarters. Once inside, they did whatever they pleased, taking kickbacks, accepting bribes, lining their own pockets, and turning the whole company into a cesspool. I never imagined that Bruno, once just a lowly security guard, had grown into such a powerful figure. Sophie had come to me before to report him, but I did not want to put Victor in an awkward position, and I was keeping up appearances for Liana, so I made Sophie swallow it all in silence. Then Bruno had the nerve to set his sights on Sophie herself, harassing her openly. Of course, he only ever dared run his mouth. In my past life, I let him walk free. This life, he goes first. I tell Leo to take me to the office. Yibo Tower is the most famous skyscraper in City Hang. The entire building belongs to the Chen family. The Chen Group headquarters is inside. I leave the bodyguards behind and get out of the car some distance away. I walk into the building alone. Almost immediately, a security guard with a mean, fleshy face blocks me in the lobby. His tone drips with impatience, as if I owe him money. Who are you and what do you want? Just walking in without a word. You think you own the place? His uniform is a mess. He is not even wearing his cap. Security and reception staff represent the entire building. If this is the face of my building, it might as well shut down. I say calmly, actually, yes. I am here for the Chen Group headquarters. You think you can just walk in? Do you have an appointment? I almost laugh. I did not expect to need an appointment to enter my own company. Yes, I have not been here in a long time, but the bare minimum for any employee is knowing who the boss is. Clearly this one has not managed even that. This entire building belongs to me. I go wherever I want. You have no authority over me. The guard actually laughs. Oh, is that right? Pretty bold. What, do you think you are Ethan Chen or something? If you are Ethan Chen, then I am his dead father, Hong Wen Chen. So what are you waiting for? Call me dad. Something cold and lethal moves through my eyes. Insult me, I can let it go. Insult my father and I cannot. I am just about to call the bodyguards in when another security guard comes running. He takes one look at me and immediately snaps to attention with a sharp salute. Sir, my apologies. We had no notice of your arrival. No one was here to receive you properly. This guard is in his 40s, clean-cut, composed, uniform immaculate and properly worn. Compared to the one before him, that first guard is an embarrassment. The first guard scoffs. What are you talking about? That is the young master? You are bluffing me. The Chen family heir always rolls with at least 7 or 8 bodyguards. What kind of heir just walks in alone? The first guard keeps going. I ignore him and turn to the second one. How do you know who I am? You visited the company earlier this year, sir. I was fortunate enough to catch a glimpse of you. The first guard hears this, delivered with total sincerity and not a trace of humor, and something finally shifts in his head. Wait, no way. He is actually Ethan Chen? He looks at me properly this time, and now he feels it, that effortless, unshakable presence that was there all along. But even knowing who I am, this guard does not seem particularly afraid. Instead, he swaggers forward with a slimy grin. Ha ha ha. Brother-in-law, finally meeting you in person. I am Kyle, Liana's cousin, deputy head of security. We are practically family. Kyle leans in and whispers this in my ear, then straightens up and gives me the sloppiest salute I have ever seen, his fat belly jutting out in front of him. Kyle is the son of Victor's sister. He was expelled for fighting before finishing middle school and has drifted around doing nothing ever since, until somehow being stuffed into this company. The smell coming off Kyle is overwhelming, like he has not bathed in weeks. Add the cigarette stench and the bad breath, and I am 1 second away from being sick. I cannot take another moment of this. I shove him back and step aside to breathe. Then I turn to the second guard. Get every member of the security team down here. Now. He does not know what I am about to do, but a good employee follows the boss's orders first and asks questions later. Kyle, meanwhile, suddenly looks uneasy. 2 minutes later, a group of security guards jogs into the lobby in formation. Over a dozen of them line up in 2 neat rows in front of me. I look them over without expression. Is everyone here? The sudden question catches the second guard off guard. He carefully glances sideways at Kyle. I did not expect Kyle to have this much of a grip on the security team. In my own company, I carry less weight than a street thug. My expression hardens. I am talking to you. Why are you looking at him? Does he own this company? Who signs your paycheck? The guard straightens immediately, visibly shaken. I am sorry, sir. I am a Chen family man through and through. You have my full loyalty. I motion for him to step forward. Tell me the real situation with the security team. I want the truth. Speak freely. You have nothing to fear from them. I am here today to clean this up. Hearing me say this so clearly, something lights up in his eyes. A flicker of hope. Sir, the only team in security that recruits properly trained personnel is mine. We hire veterans. The other 2 teams are filled with Chin family connections, most of them just like Kyle. They lounge around, ignore management, and skip their actual security duties. Most of the time they are just playing cards in the break room. I feel the fury rising behind my eyes. I can barely contain it. Unbelievable. I am paying them to play cards? Sir, to be completely honest with you, I used to be the head of the entire security team. When the Chin family moved in, they pushed me out and installed Kyle's father as the new head. And since taking the position, he has barely shown up. My expression darkens further. This is the Chen Group headquarters. The security operation has been reduced to this. How can anyone inside or any confidential information be considered safe? I reach out and rest a hand on his shoulder. You and your team have carried this alone. I am sorry. This is on me. I turned a blind eye and let it come to this. I almost destroyed what generations of my family built. Hearing me say this, he is so moved he almost breaks down. He has given over 20 years to the Chen family. He genuinely cares about this place. With his experience and capability, he could have walked into any company he wanted. The only reason he stayed was loyalty. Sir, the fact that you see it now is what matters. It is not too late. I know exactly what he means. Then Sophie Shen appears behind me, a few assistants and secretaries in tow. Ethan, what are you doing down here? You should have come straight up. She moves like a radiant star, graceful and composed, gliding to my side, her eyes warm with closeness and care. Today, Sophie is in a fitted professional suit, a black tailored blazer over it, every line of it showing off her tall, elegant figure. Seeing her again like this, something stings behind my eyes. My vision goes slightly blurry. What happened? Did these guards give you trouble? Sophie assumes it was the security staff who embarrassed me, made me lose face. She knows exactly what kind of people they are. If I had not told her to leave it alone before, she would have dealt with them long ago. No, that is not it. In Sophie's eyes, I have always been the little boy who never quite grows up. Sister, I say, I was wrong. I failed to see what was right in front of me. I put you through so much. Sophie glances at the guard I had been speaking with. He gives her a small, confirming nod. Sophie understands immediately. Ethan, you are my closest family. Whatever you choose to do, I am behind you. Her words hit me so hard my eyes fill with tears. And she means every word. In my past life, I made one phone call and Sophie handed over all her authority in the company without a single word of protest. She truly supported me without condition. And in the end, when I was left in a vegetative state, it was Sophie who looked after me every single day. I make a silent promise to myself. Sister, I failed you in my past life. I did not protect you. This life, I will not let a single one of these parasites walk free. Get the legal team up here, then call the police. I want every one of them taken in. Every cent they stole gets paid back. I tear through the chairman's office in full fury, going through the files Sophie has put together for me, slamming my hand on the desk again and again. Sophie had not been sitting idle. Even though she could not stop them, she had people documenting every violation, every crime, every corrupt act, just waiting for the day I woke up. In my past life, I never looked at these reports. This life, they are finally in front of me. Reading through it, I finally understand the full extent of what the Chin family has done. And Bruno is the worst of all. He is the head of logistics for the entire company. Every single purchase order passes through him. Every supplier has to bring him gifts and cut him a percentage on top. Sister, what kind of people are these? How did I let this happen? Go ahead and hit me. Reading further, I want to slap myself. Bruno had been harassing female employees, touching them inappropriately and repeatedly targeting Sophie herself. When I found out, I sat down with Bruno personally. Bruno was not the least bit intimidated. He looked down on Sophie as an adopted daughter and still had the nerve to pursue her. He even made a declaration at the time. If Sophie agreed, he would go home and divorce his wife immediately and marry Sophie instead, binding the two families even tighter. Sophie was furious. She came to me about it, but back then my eyes saw only Liana. I brushed it off completely. When Bruno found out nothing would be done, he pushed even further and kept going after Sophie. If it were not for a few loyal Chen family veterans who stayed close to protect her, Bruno might actually have succeeded. Sophie says quietly, "It is fine. I am all right, am I not? It is all in the past. The fact that you see it now is the best thing that could have happened. I am not angry, not even a little." Sophie does not dwell on any of it. She lets it go with a small smile. "By the way, are you really sending all of them to the police?" "Absolutely, and it is not just about the money. I want them behind bars, ideally for the rest of their lives. There is no version of this where I let them walk, especially Bruno. I am going to make Bruno regret the day he was born." "Good. That is all I needed to hear. I will handle the rest." Sophie takes the evidence and goes to file the report. Sophie has barely been gone when a knock sounds at the chairman's office door. In walks Joyce, head of the Chen Group legal department, a serious, no-nonsense woman. "Chairman, I am Joyce, head of the legal department." Her voice is as cold and mechanical as a machine. Her attitude toward me borders on distant contempt. I have no idea what I ever did to her, and I do not even know her. She wears thick-framed glasses, a sharp, short bob resting on her shoulders. Features delicate, though her face is rather gaunt. She does not hold a candle to Sophie overall, but she is still striking in her own right. "Ms. Wang, I need you to draft a share transfer agreement for me." Joyce looks slightly surprised. She thinks to herself, Sophie said this fool had finally come to his senses. So why is he transferring shares? Is it because of the Chin family arrests? Is he scared Liana will be upset and trying to sweeten the deal further? Throwing away a fortune for a woman's smile. Joyce assumes I am transferring the shares to Liana. "Chairman, how much are you transferring to Liana? She and Sophie are close friends. She has been telling Sophie for years to resign and walk away from the Chen family. She knows exactly how much Sophie has sacrificed to keep this company standing. And yet I had been handing Sophie's hard-earned success straight to the Liu family, and that has been making Joyce furious enough to have a heart attack. I frown. "What? Transfer shares to Liana? What are you talking about?" Are you not transferring them to her? Of course not. I called off the engagement. Why would I give her anything? Do I look like I want to hand her billions as a parting gift? Joyce visibly relaxes. Then I slap my own knee. I have been given a second chance at life and I nearly forgot about the betrothal gifts. Right, you just reminded me. The shares and property were never transferred, but the betrothal gifts and a number of valuable antiques and treasures were delivered in advance. Ms. Wang, before you go, send the Liu family a formal notice. I want everything returned. Joyce stares at me like she is seeing a stranger. Is this really the lovesick fool she has heard so much about? So if not Liana, who are you transferring the shares to? Have you already set your sights on someone new? Is this what coming to your senses looks like? Do these shares burn a hole in your pocket? Do you just have to give them away? If that is the case, give them to me. I give a small smile, lean in close to Joyce's ear and say 3 words. Joyce looks like she has just been struck by lightning. Shocked. Overjoyed, but this time she agrees without a second of hesitation. Done. Absolutely. I am drafting the share transfer agreement right now. Give me a few minutes. Joyce leaps to her feet and rushes back to the legal department, all composure gone. What is the hurry? I call after her. Are you afraid I will change my mind? Joyce pauses. She genuinely is afraid I will change my mind. She wants to get that agreement signed before I can reconsider. Do you know how much you are transferring? Yes, 25%. I am sorry, how much? 25%. Joyce is stunned into silence. 25% is the equivalent of the entire Liu family's net worth, and when I had originally planned to give shares to Liana, it was only 8%. Joyce is afraid I am just saying words until I meet her eyes with absolute certainty, and she knows I mean every word of it. She turns and walks back with a face full of resolve, her steps light and unhurried. Since the chairman's seat was passed to me, this office has sat largely empty. Aside from the first few months when I came in to sign some agreements, I have rarely been here since. I take a slow look around the room now. The layout has not changed a single detail from 6 years ago. Not one thing moved. Yibo Tower is the tallest building in City Hang. Standing at its peak, I look out over the entire city, and the people and cars below are nothing more than ants. For the first time, I truly understand why so many people chase wealth and power. This feeling is intoxicating. Every time I stand here, I can picture my father at this desk, frowning over problems, lighting up when a deal came through. After my parents died, I poured every last bit of myself into winning Liana's approval. I think I was using her to dull the grief. The chairman's office, long dark and unused, is busy today. The front desk calls shortly after. Victor Chin is here to see me. Victor does have some ability. He managed to redirect public attention to entertainment news in a single night, effectively burying the Liana and Felix story. Only a handful of netizens are still discussing it. As a result, the Liu Group stock took a hit this morning, but not nearly as bad as feared. Still, this cannot be left unresolved. The internet never forgets. One day someone will dig it back up, and when it blows up again there will not be enough celebrities in the world to take the heat. So the Liu family has sent Victor to negotiate with me. They want me to release a statement saying I misunderstood Liana, that we have made up and everything is fine. They originally wanted Liana to come personally and apologize, but since she left last night, the Liu family has not been able to reach her. Left with no choice, they sent Victor. After all, I had always given him face before. Victor has barely reached the base of Yibo Tower when he sees his siblings, his nieces and nephews, and a collection of old friends and associates being loaded into police vehicles. It takes several large police vans to transport all of them. Victor stands there in disbelief. What is happening? He rushes forward with his bodyguards to intercept them. What is going on? Why are you all being arrested? Bruno looks wretched. The moment he sees Victor, his face floods with desperate relief. Brother, help me! Go talk to Ethan. Tell him to let us go. Kyle and the others join in. Uncle, save us. Ethan has lost his mind. He called the police on all of us. Get him to let us out. Or tell Liana to call off the wedding. Victor now understands exactly what this is. Ethan is still furious and he is taking it out on the Chin family. Victor turns to the officers. Wait, hold on. I am going up to see Ethan right now. Give me a moment. You will all be fine. But the police pay him no attention. They push everyone firmly into the vehicles and the sirens blare as they pull away from Victor. Victor is so furious he almost loses control of his words. But he has no time to fall apart. He charges into the building without stopping and is immediately stopped. Only after I give the signal does Victor make it upstairs, and even then he comes alone. Victor walks in, still carrying himself like a father-in-law with authority. Ethan, this is not right of you. Those people are your elders and family connections. Even if they stepped out of line, you come to me. I handle it. Why drag the police into this? Is Sophie behind this? Let me tell you something. Once you marry Liana, those people become your family too. Your future children will share blood with them. But that adopted girl is different. She is an outsider, different roots, different lineage. She does not even carry your name. How can you choose her side? Liana will not be happy when she hears about this. Call the police right now. Get them released. I will arrange a dinner. You come. Offer a toast. Apologize. And we put this behind us. I watch his performance with a cold smile. Victor talks, and finally notices something is off. He has been going on alone the entire time. I have not said a single word in response. Ethan, are you going to say anything? This is a small matter. No need to bring in the authorities. A small matter? I snap. Victor has always had a gift for twisting reality, same as my past life. He always used Liana as leverage over me. Because I was afraid of upsetting Liana, I went along with whatever Victor asked. And that is what made the company what it is today. Your family collectively embezzled hundreds of millions from this company. You call that a small matter. The misconduct in the workplace, also a small matter. Publicly harassing my staff, laying their hands on them, all of it on security camera, and that is still a small matter? I slam the desk and rise to my feet, fixing Victor with a stare. But honestly, none of that is the real reason I am this furious. The core of it is Bruno going after Sophie. This life, Sophie is everything to me. She is the one line no one crosses. Victor is visibly startled by the explosion. He has no answer. I have always been so agreeable in front of him, so obedient, so easy to manage. This version of me is something he has never seen. Is that so? I had no idea any of this was happening. You should have told me sooner. If I had warned them, none of this would have happened. Victor did not know? Bruno fed the largest cut of everything he stole straight to Victor. Victor is the one who profited most from all of this. Mr. Chin, are you actually suggesting that the blame here falls on me for not spelling out the rules clearly enough? Are these people 3 years old? Do they genuinely not know right from wrong? No, of course not. I'm not blaming you. What they did was wrong, absolutely. But look, as a favor to me, can you let them go? I guarantee they will never do it again. I have no interest in going in circles with him. The Chin family members are going down. Bruno especially. This life he can spend the rest of it in prison. Mr. Chin, save yourself the effort. I am not releasing anyone. The reason I let you up here is because there is something the Liu family needs to take care of. If it does not get handled properly, I will be filing against the Liu family as well. Victor is not a fool. He can hear in my voice that I am not looking to wound them. I am looking to finish them. He is screaming at Liana in his head. What was she thinking, keeping a man like that on the side? She threw away the best match she was ever going to get, and now she has dragged the entire Chin family down with her. Ethan, go ahead, say whatever you need to say. I may not carry much weight in the Liu family, but whatever you ask, I will support it. The betrothal gifts I sent to the Liu family, the jewels, the artwork, the antiques. When is the Liu family returning all of it? Victor was not expecting this at all. He had assumed I was here to demand answers about Liana and Felix. He had even been hoping that if the Liu family smoothed things over well enough, I would feel better and the engagement might be reinstated, which would save the Chin family in the process. Ethan, listen to me. Felix and Liana, there is truly nothing there. It is all a misunderstanding. We found Liana last night and we already had a serious talk with her. She explained everything. She genuinely sees Felix as a younger brother. You know how the Liu family is. Liana only has a younger sister, no sons in the family, so she adopted Felix as a brother figure. You two grew up together. Liana loves you. How could she possibly do something to hurt you? Victor should never have brought up Liana and Felix. The moment he does, I am back in that night, in my own wedding house, watching Liana and Felix locked together, and then Liana striking me down to protect Felix. Something that had gone cold inside me gets lit back up. Enough. Do you think I am blind? Do I not know who she loves? Go ask anyone out there right now. Who would believe a word of what you just said? Victor, I have to say I underestimated you. That mouth of yours is quite something. You have real ability. Without it, I doubt you would have lasted 5 minutes at the Liu family table. Victor has never been spoken to like this. He rises to his feet and points at me, his finger trembling with rage. I do not react. Victor no longer has any power over me. Put that finger down before I have someone break it. Victor feels the edge in my voice. He lowers his hand in silence and settles back into his seat. Ethan, I understand. A man's pride is everything. When someone grinds that pride into the dirt, the anger is natural. If you need to vent, I can bring Liana here and she will accept whatever you decide. The Liu family will not say a word against it. I find myself wondering how Victor could possibly understand this feeling. Has he been through it himself? Did Liana's mother once betray him? I shake my head. I do not think you are following me. Liana and I dissolved the engagement last night. Who she loves, who she ends up with, none of that is my concern anymore. But everything that belongs to the Chen family comes back, untouched. That is all I have to say. You can go. In all the years Victor has known me, this is the first time he has been completely led from start to finish. He never once held control of this conversation. The main reason he came has not even been brought up yet, and he is already being dismissed. Victor tries to hold his ground. He wants to bring up the press conference. But at that exact moment, Joyce bursts back in with the transfer agreement in hand. She does not even glance at Victor. She rushes straight to me. Chairman, please review this one more time. Chen Group Share Transfer Agreement, 25%. If everything looks correct, please sign right away. I have not even responded yet when Victor lunges for the document, snatches it, and skims it at speed. What? You are transferring 25% of the Chen Group to Sophie Shen for free? Absolutely not, I refuse. I will never agree to this. And with that, Victor tears the document in half. I stare at him, genuinely stunned. Joyce only now realizes there is someone else in the room. She immediately regrets announcing confidential information so carelessly. But the whole situation is so extraordinary, Joyce still feels like she is dreaming. She drafted the entire transfer agreement in under 15 minutes for her closest friend and wanted to lock it in before anything could change. She is too excited, too happy for Sophie, and has not even told Sophie yet. Joyce knows who Victor is. She knows he is Liana's father. She can guess why he is here. Joyce knows everything that happened last night. She never liked Liana, and finding out about the cheating only made it worse. She feels exactly the same way about Liana's father. What does this have to do with you? Who gave you the right to object? Get out. Joyce is seething. She worked hard on that printout. Now she has to go print another one. What if I change my mind in the meantime? Ethan, 25% is not a small number. You should think this over carefully. When Liana finds out, any chance of the two of you reconciling goes out the window. Victor wears the face of a concerned elder, but he is thinking entirely about himself. I press 2 fingers to my temple and hold back the anger. I send Joyce out to print another copy, then turn to Victor. Mr. Chin, Liana and I are finished. Why would I care what she thinks? Do you actually expect me to put that woman on a pedestal as the lady of the Chen family? Ethan, if you have given up on Liana, I have another daughter. What about Serena Liu, Liana's younger sister? She has had feelings for you since you were children. You remember her, don't you? Serena is gentler than Liana, better character. And honestly, she is just as stunning. She has been abroad these past few years. You have not seen her lately. She has grown into a remarkable young woman, beautiful as ever, not a step behind her sister. And I know for a fact she has never dated anyone. She studied at a women's school in Europe. No male contact whatsoever. She is completely untouched. What do you say I give her to you? I never expected Victor to come up with something like this. Serena. Of course I know her. The 3 of us played together constantly as children, but as I grew older I only ever saw Liana, and Serena went abroad. In my past life she came back once for the wedding. After the ceremony ended she flew back to Europe. The last time I saw her, no, the last time I heard her voice, I was already in a vegetative state. I still remember Serena collapsing over me, crying so hard her whole body shook. That was when I finally understood that Serena had feelings for me too. She went abroad because she could not bear watching me love Liana so openly every single day. When she heard I had been left paralyzed, she flew back and confronted Liana in a full-blown fight, even came to blows. Serena wanted to take me abroad for treatment. Liana blocked it. Liana banned Serena from visiting me again. And in the end, Liana somehow had Serena sent back out of the country. After that, Serena disappeared completely. If there is any thread of goodwill I still carry toward the Liu family, it is because of Serena. I cannot believe Victor is speaking about his own daughter like she is an item up for trade. It is revolting. No wonder Liana turned out the way she did. With a father like this, what chance did she ever have? What do you think your daughter is? You just hand her over like she is nothing? Get out. Right now. Even after being spoken to like that, Victor holds his ground. Ethan, just think about it. This is a win for both families. I pick up the desk phone and call the secretary. Send security up. Remove this man. In the end, Victor is physically carried out. He is barely gone when Sophie appears. Ethan, what was all that about? Stop letting yourself get this worked up. It is not good for you. I let out a long breath. Sister, you have no idea how infuriating that man is. He is genuinely awful. Now I understand exactly why Liana turned out the way she did. Sophie steps around behind me, and her slender hands settle gently on my shoulders, working out the tension. My mother used to do this. Whenever my father was in a rage, she would stand behind him just like this and ease the knot out of his shoulders. Under her touch, his anger always faded. Sophie says quietly, "It is done. He is gone. We will not have much to do with the Liu family going forward. Out of sight, out of mind." I know. Thank you. By the way, how are things going with the company? Has everything been taken care of on the Chin family side? Everything that needed handling has been handled. The legal team is following up. When word got around that those people were arrested, the whole company practically wanted to set off fireworks. Hearing this, something settles in my chest. I reach up and hold Sophie's hand. Sister, this is all because of the mess I made. I put everyone in this company through it, especially you. I nearly let something terrible happen to you. It is nothing. It is over. As long as you are all right, I would go through anything. I can never quite handle Sophie when she is this gentle. To everyone else, she is the fierce, untouchable black rose, but in front of me, she is always soft. Sister, I am planning to give everyone at headquarters a 25% raise, plus a 1-month bonus. Consider it compensation for what they endured. What do you think? Sophie does not even pause. She nods immediately. Of course, you walk in on your first real day, sweep out all the rot, and then give everyone a raise on top of it. Could not be better. Her approval draws a genuine smile from me. Sister, there is one more thing, and you have to say yes. Anything to do with the company I support. You know that. Sister, you promised. A promise is a promise. Sophie nods. Always, especially when it comes to you. I let a small, scheming smile cross my face. Good. A short while later, Joyce walks back in with the share transfer agreement. This time she says nothing. She just catches Sophie's eye and gives her a wink. I take the document, scan it briefly, and sign without hesitation. Then I hand the pen to Sophie, covering the text and asking her to sign as well. Sophie is puzzled, but she trusts that her brother and her closest friend would never act against her. She signs cleanly. Once everything is settled, Joyce lets out a long breath of relief. She rushes over to Sophie with barely contained excitement. Congratulations! You are now the wealthiest woman in this province. Joyce looks like she just won 100 billion herself. Sophie, on the other hand, still has no idea what is going on. Sophie quickly opens the document. The cover reads clearly, Share Transfer Agreement. And the percentage is 25% of the Chen Group. As the person who has actually been running this company, Sophie knows better than anyone what 25% of the Chen Group is worth. She looks at me, completely lost. Ethan, what is this? Why are you giving me shares? I smile. Sister, you promised. You said you support all my decisions. But giving me this much, it puts you at a serious disadvantage. The Chen family currently holds 85% of the group, 10% is on the open market, 5% sits with other shareholders. If you give me 25%, I become the second largest shareholder in the entire group. And after that, who would dare look down on me? Who would ever call me an adopted daughter again? With 25%, I would be the most powerful woman in all of City Hang. My expression shifts. I become completely serious. Sister, there is one condition. Joyce startles. What? What are you doing? You are not going to marry her, are you? I suppose the shares end up back in the Chen family either way. Sophie hears this and draws the same conclusion, but instead of looking uncomfortable, something in her expression shifts toward quiet anticipation. Joyce has made me laugh against my will. I cannot keep a straight face. What are you two thinking? Do I seem like that kind of person? Then what is the condition? Benefits without commitment? You are terrible. Joyce's words catch me so off guard I start coughing. Sophie immediately brings me water. Joyce watches Sophie move and thinks, she seems more than willing. She probably has for a long time. Maybe the Chen family was grooming her as a child bride all along. That lands somewhere deep in Sophie. Because honestly, that is not far from the truth. My mother had once brought it up with Sophie directly, but my father refused. He scolded my mother for thinking in old-fashioned, feudal terms without once considering what Sophie herself wanted. But Sophie had been willing. She was just too young then to know how to say it. Then my father and Eleanor Liu turned around and arranged the childhood engagement between me and Liana, which sent my mother into a fury. Hearing the words child bride out loud now sends me into another coughing fit. Sophie watches, genuinely worried. She turns on Joyce. What are you going on about? Stop it. Joyce clutches her chest and puts on her most dramatic expression. Oh no, our black rose has turned red. The smell of this romance is absolutely killing me. I need to get out of here. I will leave you two to it. Joyce makes for the door. I stop coughing the instant I see her move. Ms. Wang, hold on. I am not finished. Sophie and Joyce exchange a glance. They both sense this is not minor. In addition to the 25% shares, I am appointing Sophie as general manager. She has full authority over every department. Business decisions, personnel appointments, all of it goes through Sophie. She no longer needs my approval for anything. In other words, I am handing over the complete operational control of the company to Sophie, while I remain a comfortable figurehead as chairman. Joyce's face breaks into open approval. Finally, this is long overdue. Sophie has been running this company all along, and her title was just vice president. It tied her hands constantly. So many opportunities slipped by, just because she had to wait for your signature. This is the right call. Sophie never expected that my visit today was to clear every obstacle out of her path, give her shares, and hand her real power. Her eyes fill with tears. Joyce can tell Sophie needs a private moment with me. She finds her exit fast. Right, you two carry on. I will go draft the appointment notice now. It will go out under the Chen Group's official name shortly. Chairman, stand by to sign. Got it. It is true what they say. The person who understands a woman best is not always her husband. More often than not, it is her closest friend. Just pray it is never a male one. Once Joyce is gone, Sophie throws herself at me, and the tears come all at once. I wrap my arms around her waist, and we hold each other close. There is so much to say and no idea where to begin. In this moment, silence says more than words ever could. There is so much I want to tell Sophie, but none of it will come out. Sophie is overflowing with the joy of something found again after being lost. Deep down, she is almost grateful to Liana, grateful for her recklessness and blindness. Sophie pulls back just enough to ask quietly, Ethan, giving me these shares, are you not afraid I might one day marry someone else? I reach up and run my fingers gently through her hair, letting the dark strands curl around my fingertips, and I say with complete sincerity, I am not afraid. What I give you is yours. If you ever do marry someone else, consider the shares your dowry. Sophie's expression shifts. She is a little angry. She pinches the soft skin at my waist. Hard. Fine then, she says with a pout. I will go find someone to marry. Do not come crying to me later. I wince through gritted teeth. That hurts. Sister, I take it back. No dowry. Sophie pinches harder. What did you just say? Say it again. No one in City Hang would believe it. The famous Black Rose, the woman rumored to be cold and ruthless without exception, is standing here pouting like this. If anyone saw it, no one would believe it was real. She gets me several more times before she is done. Both sides of my waist are going to bruise. Now I know exactly where I went wrong. With tears in my eyes, I say, Sister, you are Chen family. Always. This life and the next. We only have each other. You look after me, and you keep looking after me forever. Sophie buries her face in my chest and cries out loud. She has waited so long for this moment, so long she almost stopped hoping. Through the sobs she manages, yes, together, always, we never separate. I pull back and look at her with complete seriousness. Sister, a promise is a promise. Do not deceive me. I cannot survive another betrayal. Sophie goes still. She can feel the rawness of every word as it leaves my mouth. The pain reaches through flesh and bone, and she feels it in herself. Sophie does not know what to say. Meanwhile, Liana does not know how she even fell asleep. She cried for hours through the night. When she finally reaches for her phone to call me, Felix's number comes through. On the other end of the line, Felix is crying, his voice desperate. "Liana, get to the hospital. Someone is trying to kill me." The line goes dead. "Felix, what is happening? Talk to me. What is wrong?" Liana realizes he is already gone. She grabs her keys and runs, still in the white engagement dress. Once again, she drops everything for Felix and leaves me behind without a second thought. When Liana arrives at the hospital, Felix is completely unharmed, just kneeling on the floor looking unsteady. Eleanor Liu sits across from him. Liana rushes to Eleanor, distress written all over her face. "Grandma, what is this? Why are you putting Felix through this? He was just in an accident. He has not even recovered." Eleanor stares at her granddaughter the way you look at someone who cannot be helped. What is wrong with this girl? Felix looks perfectly fine. Eleanor points at him and turns to Liana. "Where exactly is this boy injured? He has a few scrapes. That is it. And you let this person tear the Liu family and the Chen family apart. I genuinely want to knock both of you senseless." Liana is taken aback. She steps closer to examine Felix, and sure enough, just a few small scrapes on his face and hands. The iodine made everything look worse than it was. Last night she was too panicked to look properly. Now the iodine has faded and the picture is clear. There is barely a wound to speak of. The worst of it is one spot where the skin barely broke. Liana's mind immediately goes to the blood I coughed up in the wedding house. How much pain does it take for someone to bleed like that? And here she is again, running to Felix the moment he called, when she had been planning to go find me and apologize. What is she doing? And yet something about Felix still feels different, still pulls at her. Even knowing he deceived her this time, even knowing how much damage it caused, she still believes he must have had reasons. "I will handle the situation with Ethan myself. I will give you a satisfactory answer. But Felix is mine to protect. I will not allow anyone to touch him." She takes Felix by the arm and starts walking him out. At that moment, Victor walks in. He has just come from the Chen group. He gets back to the hospital just in time to see Liana leaving with Felix. He looks at her, and for a brief moment something like disgust crosses his face. Then the familiar mild, harmless expression returns. "Liana, Ethan is genuinely furious this time. Staying this close to him gives you no chance at all." Liana ignores Victor completely as if he is not there, and walks Felix out of the room. Victor approaches Eleanor and speaks with a face full of regret. "Mom, I am sorry. The situation with Ethan did not go the way I hoped. He is serious about the dissolution, and he is demanding we return the betrothal gifts." He gives Eleanor a brief summary of what happened at the Chen group, leaving out the part where the Chin family members were taken away by police. Eleanor seems to have already known how it would end. She shows no surprise. "I know you did what you could. The online situation you managed well. What happened between us and the Chen family is not your fault." Just before Liana arrived at the hospital, the Liu family had released an official statement. It announced that Felix had been formally adopted by the Liu family and that he and Liana are siblings. Their closeness was explained as simply a deep sibling bond. The Liu family then paid a large number of people to steer the online narrative. Aside from a handful who know the truth and refuse to let go, some of the public has already moved on. "That boy Ethan, he was always so sensible. I genuinely liked him. What a shame. Return the betrothal gifts. The Liu family's reputation is already in the gutter. We cannot add being called thieves on top of everything else." Seeing Eleanor's expression of quiet regret, Victor speaks up. "Mom, Liana is not our only option. We still have Serena." Eleanor turns sharply toward him. She suddenly notices that Victor's mind moves fast when he wants it to. Nothing like the passive, bumbling man he usually appears to be. Eleanor looks at him as if seeing him for the first time. As for Liana, the moment she gets Felix out of the room, she shoves him to the ground. "Tell me why you lied to me. Do you have any idea what coming here for you has cost me? You have nearly destroyed me." Liana is on the verge of tears. One day, and everything collapsed, all because of Felix's lies. And she has had to carry all of it alone. The broken engagement. Years of love gone overnight. The Liu family's reputation in ruins. The company facing a catastrophic crisis. And worst of all, the internet calling her every vile name imaginable. Every piece of filth aimed directly at her. And the one who caused it all is being sheltered safely behind her. "Liana," Felix says, his voice tight with what looks like deep injustice. He chokes up, words failing him. Liana softens looking at him. Her voice loses its edge. "Stop crying, I have not even cried yet." Sensing her anger cooling, Felix presses on with his most pitiful voice. "I knew about the engagement last night. Ethan does not like me, he did not invite me, so I went to a bar alone and drank too much. On the way home I was hit by an electric scooter. A passerby called the ambulance and got me to the hospital. The nurse made the call to you. I never wanted to ruin your banquet, I was just hurting. I drank too much and woke up not knowing what had happened. How can you say I lied?" After Felix finishes, Liana thinks it over. It is true that Felix did not personally call her last night, which means he did not lie to her. The nurse must not have been able to reach any of Felix's family. Felix had Liana listed in his contacts as sister. So the nurse called her, needing someone to sign the paperwork. Felix is an orphan. In all of City Hang, Liana is the only person he has. Thinking through it this way, most of Liana's anger drains away. "Alright, this is not your fault. I misunderstood. Once things settle down, I will bring Ethan to see you. We will take you to dinner. That sounds wonderful. Ethan does not need to apologize to me. As long as he is not angry with me. Felix beams, looking genuinely excited at the idea of seeing me. Liana reaches up and touches the scrape on his face gently. I am glad you feel that way. Now go home. Rest for a couple of days. Come back to work once you have healed. I am fine. It is nothing. Where are you headed now? I will come with you. Your loyal assistant has to stick by your side. No need. I am going home to change. Then I am going to find Ethan. I need to explain everything to him. Once he calms down, this will all be behind us. Then I definitely have to come. I want to apologize to Ethan in person. I will explain everything and help clear up the misunderstanding. Let me help get things back to the way they were. Liana thinks about it and decides he has a point. Bringing Felix along and letting him explain directly would be more convincing than anything she could say alone. She nods. All right, come home with me first, but wait in the car. I need to go up and change. Felix does not agree. My clothes got ruined yesterday. I left a spare set at your place, right? Let me come up and change too. It would be disrespectful to show up in front of Ethan looking like this. Liana hesitates. She thinks of those photos. That whole disaster started because Felix was in her room. Felix anticipates this and explains. We are siblings. If we start avoiding each other because of what other people think, does that not make us look guilty? We act naturally. That is how we stop the suspicion. Liana can see the logic, but she still feels uneasy. Felix does not give her a chance to object. He takes her hand and walks. Half an hour later, the two of them arrive at the large apartment Liana owns outside her family home. Another hour passes. Both have changed. They leave Liana's apartment together. At the same time, a new set of photos of Liana and Felix explodes across the internet. The ever-present eyes of the internet have caught everything. First, the two of them at the hospital with their arms around each other. Liana gazing at Felix's face with unmistakable tenderness as she touches his wounds. A few angles make it look like they are kissing. Then, Felix holding Liana's hand as they walk through the hospital corridor like the rest of the world does not exist. And finally, Liana driving Felix to her private apartment and walking out together afterward, both in fresh clothes. The internet goes absolutely berserk all over again. Fueled by the new wave of outrage, netizens begin dumping Liu Group stock en masse. The price collapses in freefall. None of this reaches Liana or Felix. Felix has not looked at his phone. Liana is driving and cannot look at hers. Funny enough, Felix acts more like the boss, and Liana acts like his secretary. They arrive at the Chen Group building. This time no one dares stop Liana. She has been here so many times she is practically a fixture. She handled all the liaison work between the Liu family and the Chen family. After all, when it came to negotiating terms, Liana was always the one who could squeeze out more for her side. My chairman's office had practically become hers at times. She had been preparing to take over the Chen family's assets for a while now. Liana walks through without a single obstacle, but the employees give her nothing but cold stares, especially since she had the nerve to bring Felix with her. In their private group chats, the comments are vicious. The audacity of this woman. Bringing her side piece right into our building. Does she not fear Ethan losing his temper completely? Sophie's secretary, Lu Qingqing, blocks the door. You cannot go in. The chairman and general manager are in a meeting. Felix steps forward. Do you know who this is? You are seriously going to stop the chairman's fiancé? You have some nerve. He shoves Lu Qingqing aside and clears the way for Liana. This office is not just familiar to Liana. Felix knows it just as well. They have both been here many times. But this is the first time either of them has come here to face me. Felix treats the place like it is already his. He does not bother knocking. He just walks in. I am sitting in the chairman's chair when they enter. Liana walks in and stops. How could you? Liana's face drains of color, her lips trembling. Her eyes flood instantly. My gaze holds nothing but bottomless hatred. In my past life, Liana and Felix tormented me until I died. Now the three of us are in a room again. But I am no longer the man who gave everything and asked for nothing. There is no love left in me for her. And without love, there is nothing left to wound. I say flatly. Who let you in? Get out. Before Liana can speak, Felix cuts in. Ethan, Liana came all this way to apologize. This is all a misunderstanding. How could you do something like this in front of Liana? Hearing Felix's voice makes my stomach turn. A grown man performing helplessness, talking in that soft, coaxing way. I genuinely cannot understand what Liana sees in someone like this. Does weakness bring out her protective instincts? I keep my face rigid and my voice cold. If you are not leaving, I will have security remove you. Walk out on your own while you still can. And next time knock. That is enough to shatter Liana's composure. She did not expect this from me. One night away and everything has changed. She looks at me with wounded eyes. Ethan, do you know what you are saying? You are actually telling me to leave? You should be asking her to leave. Have you forgotten what you promised me? You said you would keep your distance from Sophie. Thunder fills my voice. Out. Felix reads the room. He pulls Liana back toward the door. Liu Qingqing appears with an apology. I am sorry. Chairman, General Manager, I was unable to stop them. Go inform security and reception clearly. From this point forward, without my explicit authorization, Liana Lu and whoever she drags along are not permitted in this building. Understood, Chairman. I will notify everyone now. Lu Qingqing turns to go and pulls the door shut behind her. On her way out, she shoots Liana and Felix a look full of contempt. In the end, it is Felix who knocks, waits for permission, and then brings Liana back in. She used to walk into this room like she owned it. Now she has to knock and wait. The change is so enormous she can barely process it. Inside, Sophie is no longer sitting where she was. She stands behind me, quietly pressing her hands into my shoulders. The sight of it cuts through every nerve in Liana's body, but this time she does not charge in. She keeps her voice gentle. Ethan, I know what I did last night was wrong. I came to apologize. I panicked. Felix had been knocked unconscious. The hospital told me his injuries were serious. At this point, I glanced past her with a hint of amusement. Then who is this perfectly healthy, energetic person standing behind you? Felix looks completely fine. Liana catches the mockery in my eyes, and her confidence falters. She regrets bringing him. I keep going. I have to wonder about the doctors at City Hang Central Hospital. If there was nothing wrong with him, why did they call you to say he was seriously injured? And another thing, if Felix was knocked unconscious, how did the hospital get your private number? Liana has no answer. She was too panicked before to think any of this through. Now, with my questions laid out in front of her, something clicks. She turns to Felix. Felix, you are clearly not seriously hurt. So why did they call me to say your injuries were severe? And if you were unconscious, how did the hospital have my personal number? Felix's eyes shift. He fumbles for a long moment before speaking. I really was knocked out. I must have been repeating your name while I was unconscious after they brought me in. I must have had your number memorized. I recited it to the doctors, and they called you. Felix is almost impressed with himself for conjuring something that neat. I watch Liana, this foolish woman, actually start to believe it. She is even moved that Felix was thinking of her even while unconscious. Such a flimsy excuse, and Liana swallows it whole. Sophie had seen through Felix the moment she laid eyes on him. If he were a woman, he would have men fighting each other on his behalf. Sophie speaks. It sounds like Liana really does mean a great deal to you. Felix nods earnestly. She does. She is the only family I have in this world, though I genuinely do not believe you have her number memorized. Would you care to demonstrate right now? Let me see firsthand just how deep this bond goes. Liana already has little patience for Sophie. Seeing Sophie doubt that Felix cares, she jumps in. Go ahead, recite it for her. Show her what real affection looks like. Felix breaks into a cold sweat. Now he truly understands what it means when one lie requires 100 more to hold it up. He pretends to think hard, but cannot produce a single digit. Sweat appears on his forehead. Sophie tilts her head. Oh, did you forget again? Liana cannot stand Sophie's expression, that perfectly calibrated mix of mockery and disdain. Her brow furrows with irritation. What is the rush? Felix was hit by a car yesterday. He is probably still disoriented. Just give him a moment. Watching Liana defend Felix so fiercely sends a sharp pain through my chest. Even breathing hurts for a second. But I have already ended the engagement. Today I make everything completely clear to Liana. From here on, we are not friends. We are not anything. We are on opposite sides. If she is going to protect Felix, then I am going to protect Sophie. I glance at Liana and Felix with open contempt, and offer with a hint of mockery. Allow me to help. It starts with a 1. Yes, right, a 1, Felix says, like something is coming back to him. But after the 1, he has nothing. Now Liana understands too. Felix never had her number memorized, but she will not lose face in front of Sophie. She covers for him. It is the aftermath of the accident. He is not fully recovered. And besides, who in this day and age memorizes phone numbers anyway? I cannot even remember my own. I smile quietly. Is that so? I wonder why mine is so clear. I recite Liana's number without pausing, then her identification number, and it does not stop there. I know every important date in her life, her birthday, her cycle, every account password, every banking detail. Every time Liana forgot something, she never had to think twice. She just called me, and I always had the answer. Instantly, Liana watches me, completely composed, and realizes she never knew the full extent of what I had memorized about her. If the others were not here, Liana would have crossed the room and kissed me right now. She is overwhelmed. She knew it. She knew you still love her. You remember everything, every single thing that belongs to her. Sophie, however, is quietly furious. It is actually quite obvious whether someone truly cares for another person. Some things get carved so deep they never leave. The words cut two ways. They expose Liana and Felix, and they reveal Sophie's own feelings, buried just beneath the surface. I know exactly what I have done. I have dug a hole for myself. Liana is about to explode. She watches me and Sophie exchange these loaded words as if no one else is in the room, and she snaps. No more composure. She storms over to Sophie, grabs her by the arm, and yanks. You shameless adopted girl, how dare you seduce my fiancé? Get out! The slap comes so fast, no one sees it coming. After Liana screams at Sophie, I am on my feet and my hand connects with Liana's face. She never expected me to hit her. Sophie and Felix both freeze. Neither of them can make sense of how completely I have changed. Was it really just the walkout that did this? They have no idea that this slap carries the weight of 2 lifetimes of hatred. Every time I think of what my past life was Liana's cruelty, her betrayal, the way she ground my most selfless love into nothing. If there were any justification I could use, I would want both of them gone from this world. But the consequences would be too severe. The Liu family would come for me. The law would follow. I am not going to sacrifice myself for them. Liana stands frozen with her hand over her cheek. No one has ever struck her in her entire life. Not even the version of me who gave her everything she ever asked for. Tears blur her vision instantly. Not from pain, from pure disbelief. She stares at the man who once endured anything to make her happy. My eyes hold nothing for her. nothing but cold, settled hatred. Felix panics and steps in front of Liana. Ethan, how could you hit her? She came here to apologize. You have gone too far. I let out a cold laugh. My gaze moved slowly over Felix. Too far? What I did was light. And how clean do you think you are? Who was holding her in that wedding house? Her walk out? Who lied to get her to the hospital? Tell me you had no ulterior motive. Tell me that. Felix has nothing to say. His face goes red, then white. His eyes dart everywhere but at me. The realization hits Liana a beat too late. Everything Felix said is full of gaps. She grabs his arm. Tell me the truth. Did you arrange for the hospital to call me? Did you already know you were not seriously hurt? Have you been lying to me this whole time? Felix winces at her grip. He shakes her off hard. No, I did not lie to you. You are just too naive, too easy to fool. Those words land like a blade. Liana goes completely cold inside. She treated him like blood. She protected him with everything she had, and in the end he used her. Sophie moves to my side and gently takes my hand, signaling me to breathe. I turn my hand and hold hers, feeling the warmth in my palm. My expression softens slightly, but the moment I look back at Liana and Felix, it is cold again. Liana, I am telling you one final time. Our engagement is dissolved. From now on, we are nothing to each other. Everything the Liu family owes me, I will collect it back. Every last piece. And you, Felix. You used Liana's trust to destroy my engagement banquet, to destroy everything I had. We will settle that account in time. At that moment, the office door opens. Joyce walks in holding a document. 2 police officers behind her. Chairman, the Liu family has completely collapsed. The stock has crashed beyond recovery. They are insolvent. Eleanor Liu suffered a cardiac episode from the shock. She did not survive. Victor Chin has been taken in by police on suspicion of corruption and bribery. Bruno Chin and the others have been formally charged. They will most likely spend the rest of their lives in prison. Liana hears this and her legs give out. She barely catches herself. Grandma is gone. Father is arrested. The Liu family is finished. In an instant, she has lost everything. Felix sees this and panics too. He attached himself to Liana for the Liu family's money. Now that the Liu family is gone, there is nothing left for him. The mask drops completely. He turns on Liana with venom. This is your fault, Liana. If you were not so easy to manipulate, I would never have ended up here. My plan was to use your connection to get close to the Chen family. I did not expect you to be this useless. You could not even hold on to a marriage agreement. Now the Liu family is gone. There is no point pretending anymore. Felix spins and moves for the door. The police officers block him. Mr. Felix Yi, you are under suspicion of fraud and false accusation. Please come with us. They step forward and put him in handcuffs. Felix struggles frantically, insisting he is innocent. No one listens. He is taken away. Liana stands completely still. She is shaking. She watches the back of Felix as he is led out. Then she thinks of her grandmother's death, her father's arrest, and my eyes, utterly without warmth. She finally understands exactly how catastrophically wrong she was. She walks toward me slowly and lowers herself to her knees. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Please give me one more chance. I will never be this reckless again. I will never protect Felix over you again. I just want to go back. Back to when you still treated me well. I look at Liana kneeling on the floor, tears streaming down her face, and feel absolutely nothing. The version of me from before might have softened, might have crumbled, but the person I am now holds only Sophie, and the quiet stillness that comes after revenge is complete. I gently pull my hand from Sophie's and look down at Liana. It is too late. I gave you chances. You chose not to take them. You destroyed what we had with your own hands, and you destroyed yourself along with it. Get up. I am not going to do anything more to you, but I will never give you another chance either. Liana looks into my eyes and sees no opening anywhere, no possibility. She crumbles to the floor and cries without sound at first, then louder. Her sobs are soaked in regret and despair. Sophie watches her without a trace of pity. Those who suffer often have their own hands to blame. This is the life Liana built for herself. I turn to Sophie. My eyes go soft immediately. Let us go. Everything here is finished. Sophie nods and walks with me toward the door. As we pass Liana, neither of us looks at her. We walk out of the chairman's office. Every employee we pass greets us with respect. Their eyes hold nothing but reverence. No one will ever look down on me again. No one will ever call Sophie an adopted daughter again. We step into the elevator. It begins its slow descent. I hold Sophie's hand the entire way down. From now on, as long as I am here, no one will ever hurt you again. Not one moment of suffering, I promise. Sophie looks at my face, completely serious, and her eyes grow slightly wet. She nods firmly. Yes, together, always, we never separate. The elevator doors open. We walk out of Yibo Tower side by side. Sunlight falls across us, warm and brilliant as if it is burning away every shadow, every wound, every piece of the past that no longer has any claim on us.